let's get started. And the first thing that you need to know about IP and your business is the fact that your business is IP. When you look inside your business, everything that you do is all about IP, whether it's your products and services, as patents, trade secrets, even copyrights. You may have formulas and processes. Even your business and sales plans are intellectual property. You may be developing software which has source code, your websites, web pages, promotions. These are all copyrights and trade secrets. Marketing and PR, customer lists, suppliers, vendors, basically everything about your business is IP. And that's why, in fact, every business is intellectual property. And when you look at the studies that have been done, and especially recently coming out, and what comprises businesses today, you'll find that most businesses are comprised, or the biggest value of those businesses is intellectual property. And many industries today are very IP intensive, such as media, telecom, autos, and many industries today are becoming even more IP intensive. And inside of all of these businesses are intellectual property that is now necessity for businesses to grow and thrive in these industries. And you see that all the time in the news when you hear about the litigation going on, the big disputes that are happening, even the big acquisitions today are all about the intellectual property. And when you talk about intellectual property and your business, whether you're an operating business today or a startup, the one thing you have to understand is that IP is really critical to it and core to its foundation. And what studies have found, and there's been numerous studies that have come out over the last decade especially, is that businesses and startups with IP get higher valuations. They're more likely to get funding. They're less likely to fail. They generally grow 30% larger and much faster than companies without IP. And the thing that they all do is they use their IP strategically, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And even more telling is the fact that startups and businesses with IP are more likely to survive longer than businesses without IP. And that's important to keep in mind. So if you have a business, if you have a startup, and you aren't focused on your IP and what it is and how you can use it, you really need to take a hard look at that. And today, I'm going to share with you some of the secrets that are going to help you be able to really use your IP to take your business to the next level. And I'm just going to do a quick review here for those who may not be familiar, but there's really two types of intellectual property. There's registered and unregistered. Registered is the one that is most familiar. Most people are familiar with registered. That's your patents, your trademarks, and your copyrights. Now, in the case of copyrights, you don't necessarily need to register it. It's yours at the time you create it. But if you don't register it, you don't get the legal teeth behind it in the event somebody uses it without your permission. On the other side is what's called unregistered IP. And this is an area where a lot more intellectual property is being created. And everybody on the call today, no matter what type of IP you have, no matter what type of business that you have, you probably have some form of unregistered IP, whether it's a trade secret, some recipe or formula, know-how, something that you know how to do better, cheaper, faster, or processes and systems, business systems, marketing systems, leadership systems. These all are all forms of unregistered intellectual property and are some of the most valuable types of intellectual property.